Baroque churches of Belarus, or a short story about Belarus's Baroque churches with a long prologue and two non-lyrical digressions. Prologue. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women simply players. These are the words from the play As You Like It by William Shakespeare, written at the turn of the 16th and 17th centuries. This phrase is said by one of the characters in the play, the melancholy Jacques. But who is the author of this metaphor? Back in the 6th century BC, Pythagoras of Samos, the ancient Greek philosopher and mathematician, believed that the world is structured like the Olympic Games, where the best of people come to watch the spectacle. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus, the 1st century AD, is credited with the statement, "Remember that you are an actor in a play, the character of which is determined by the playwright." In the early 17th century, the Spanish playwright Calderón de la Barca wrote the play The Great Theater of the World. In this play, God assigns people various roles in the world theater, gives people the freedom to play, live their lives, and at the end of the play, evaluates the way a person played the role. Theatricality is one of the basic principles of the Baroque, a movement in art that dominated the 17th and 18th centuries. It was a brutal time of religious, political, and economic convulsions, when people doubted the rationality and harmony of the world around them. What previously seemed absolutely clear, unshakable, and eternal began to literally crumble away. For instance, in the old days, an ordinary person was absolutely sure that the earth is a flat saucer, and that in the evening, the sun sets behind its edge, thus causing night to fall. But Magellan's circumnavigation of the earth, and the calculations of Copernicus and Kepler, convinced all that the earth is not a plate, but a ball, and it even revolves round the sun. At this time, people began to acutely feel the contradictions between appearance and knowledge, ideal and reality, illusion and truth. As a result, everything new, unusual, elusive, and dynamic began to seem especially beautiful. Baroque churches. Baroque is most clearly manifested in the architecture of churches. For almost 20 years, the 19th Ecumenical Council of the Roman Catholic Church was held in the Italian city of Trent, or Trento. The council discussed the fight against Protestantism and the actions needed to increase the prestige of the Roman Catholic Church to maintain its influence on people. It was decided that the appearance of Roman Catholic cathedrals, especially their facades and interiors, should attract people with their beauty, unusualness, and preciosity. The main forms of Baroque architecture are ellipses, ovals, and other complex geometric figures. The word barroco in Portuguese means a flawed pearl. Therefore, dormer windows in the shape of a curved oval, often found in Baroque architecture, are called perola barocca, irregular pearls. Just like in a theater, the facade of a Baroque church must be decorative and intricate, while the rest can be simpler. Baroque interiors are characterized by curved walls, richly decorated ceilings, columns, sculptures, arches, and niches, which create a sense of movement. A special painting technique, grisaille, was often used, which made it possible to create an imitation of three-dimensional reliefs. Digression 1. When describing temple buildings, many unclear words are usually used, so there is a small glossary. The portal, from the Latin porta, gate, is the main entrance of a large architectural structure. The nave, from the Latin navis, ship, is a longitudinal space in the temple. The most traditional structure of the temple is three-nave, in which, in addition to the main one, there are two more side naves. The main nave is often separated from side naves by columns or arches. The apse is a protrusion of a building, in which the main altar of a church is usually located. The transept is a transverse nave that crosses the main longitudinal nave at right angles. The crossing is the junction of the main nave and the transept, which both form a cross. Baroque churches of Belarus. The Grand Duchy of Lithuania, which included the lands of today's Belarus, became the second country in the world, after Italy, where the Baroque style began to develop. The Church of the Gesù is the first temple built in Rome, in accordance with the decisions of the Council of Trent. Art historians attribute it to the early Baroque. The Jesuit monk and architect Giovanni Maria Bernardoni, 1541–1605, worked on its construction for 6 years. In 1586, Bernardoni came to the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. He designed and built the first Baroque church in Nia Svij in 1593. Bernardoni's student was a native of Minsk, young Fran Kierevich, 1559–1627, who built the Church of St. Casimir in Vilnius, today's Vilnius. In the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, not only Roman Catholic, but also Orthodox churches were built in the Baroque style. For example, churches in Warsaw and Mahy-Leo. Art historians call this style the Mahy-Leo Baroque. In the late 17th century, the Sarmatian Baroque style emerged. Temples in this style are distinguished by ascetic and laconic facades. In the early 18th century, the simplification of Baroque forms went out of fashion, and the strict Sarmatian Baroque was replaced by the Etherean and lush Vilnian Baroque. The creator of the Vilnian Baroque was the Lutheran Johann Christoph Glaubitz, 1700–1767. According to his projects, churches were built or reconstructed in Vilnius, Polotsk, Hḻybokaje, and many other cities in the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. Digression 2. The 17th century was sanguinary for the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, the union of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania and the Kingdom of Poland. By its end, the population of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania was almost halved. 1600–1611. War with Sweden. 1609–1618. Time of troubles. Siege of Smolensk. Capture of Moscow. 1620–1621. Khotyn War to control the Moldavian Principality. 1621–1626. Sweden captured all the lands of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania in Livonia, including Riga. 1632–1634. Smolensk War. Invasion of Muscovite troops. 1633–1634. Invasion of the Tatars and Turks in Polisia. 1654–1667. Bloody Moscow Deluge in the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. 1655–1660. Bloody Swedish Deluge in Poland. 1672–1676. War of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth to control right bank Ukraine. 1683–1699. Great Turkish War of the Holy League. 1696–1702. The Civil War in the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, during which the Rūžiai Palace, the main residence of the oldest branch of the Sapieha family, was destroyed. The 18th century was no better, and it ended with the 3 partitions of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth in 1772, in 1793, and in 1795, after which it lost its independence. Well, it's time to return to our main topic. The 17th and 18th centuries were a difficult time for the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. Still, despite all hardships and tragedies, Our ancestors managed to build many outstanding Baroque churches, some of which have survived to this day.